The NFL season, we got to see a lot of good games, a lot of really close games, so many one-possession games in that 1 o'clock games, a lot of good games in the 4 o'clocks. We got a lot to talk about with this Week 12, a lot of overreactions. A lot of teams are kind of defining how the rest of their season is going to be. So let's talk about all these games. I do want to start with the unfortunate loss of my Pittsburgh Steelers going into Chicago and losing in Chicago. 31-28 loss for the Steelers. Bears take home a win, which puts them to 8-3. This was a big win for the Bears because both the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers won in that division. But the Bears stay atop the NFC North with their 8-3 record. They are now 4-1 at home. The Bears almost guaranteeing themselves, as long as they don't lose 6 in a row to end the year, a above 500 season for the first time in what feels like a long time for the Chicago Bears. So shout out to them. My initial reactions of the Bears-Steelers game. First and foremost, I love seeing the Steelers come out and want to dominate on the run. That made me feel very promising about, how the Steelers' game plan was going to be with no Aaron Rodgers. I loved seeing them come out, give Kenneth Gainwell 10 carries, 92 yards. Jalen Warren, 18 carries, 68 rushing yards. We tried to get our run game involved with, Spencer Anderson on one side, Darnell Washington on the other, creating that front 7 offensive linemen of 2,000 plus yards up front, which we dominated the front press all day long. But Mason Rudolph, first throw of the game, throws an interception far left. Unexcusable, giving up the ball that quick. To start the second half, an immediate 3 and out from a couple bad throws from Mason Rudolph. Unacceptable when you're going into the second half with the lead, and we really needed that first drive to be a long, meticulous drive that ends in at least a field goal. Really, really bad showing there. 4th and 1, the Steelers decide to go for it and get absolutely stuffed on a QB sneak attempt, or a tush push attempt they now call it. In my opinion, we could have kicked the field goal with Chris Boswell. That probably would have tied the game up, as you can see later in the game. Mason Rudolph statistically did not have that bad of a game. 24 of 31 passing, 171 yards and a touchdown. But as you can see, DK Metcalf was on and off the field all day due to this ankle injury he dealt with. And once he went off the field, we did not have any wide receiver help at all. Pat Freiermuth came in and had that nice touchdown and a couple of nice catches on third down. Was not too impressed with what I saw from our passing game, though. It felt very conservative. Not a lot of shots taken at all. Not a lot of big plays. The longest play of our entire game was that Kenneth Gainwell fake tush push that we handed off to him, which ended up turning into a touchdown, which was a really, really impressive play. It was honestly a copycat play of how Mark Andrews scored his touchdown for the Ravens a week ago, and we just took it, gave it to Kenneth Gainwell instead. He took it 55 yards, almost to the house, but was down at the 1. But overall, Steelers' passing game was not efficient. We could not really get going on third downs. I was really impressed with our run game, but man, really, really struggle-heavy game for the Steelers. As for the Bears, the secondary has been bad for the Steelers, so why not abuse that? 19 of 35, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for Caleb Williams. Now, I will say he had that really bad fumble in the end zone, which led to a touchdown for the Steelers. TJ Watt threw him around. Caleb fumbles the ball in the end zone, goes for a touchdown for the Steelers. I felt like after that, Steelers should have had this game locked up. I thought our defense was playing well. The first half was exactly how I wanted it to be. But in that second half, our offense lost all momentum we had. And unfortunately, the defense did not make any real big-time plays in that second half. I've been saying it, Steelers are a turnover-based defense. And against a team like Caleb Williams, I understand he had that bad fumble. There's no excuse for Caleb having no interceptions. Kyle Duggar, I believe, dropped 2 interceptions. Joey Porter Jr. had an interception that was called back because of an offside penalty on Nate Herbig, or Nick Herbig, one of the 2 brothers. Overall, shout out DJ Moore for having his best game of the season against us. Of course, I swear every team's wide receiver 2 loves to have their best game against the Pittsburgh Steelers when our secondary is struggling. You look at the Steelers defense and you look at through these names, right? The Jalen Ramsey, Kyle Duggar, Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt, Jack Sawyer, Cam Hayward. We've got all the names to be a good defense, and yet we still have been allowing 30-plus points to way too many teams this year. And, if you were to tell me that the Pittsburgh Steelers with 28 points, with Mason Rudolph at the starting quarterback would score 28 points, I believe we should win that game against the Chicago Bears. But The Bears had other plans, and unfortunately, that led to a 3-point Steelers loss. We could not get the offense going in the fourth quarter. 3-point loss for the Steelers under the Bears. Steelers now are out of the playoffs looking in, as we will talk about the Ravens game after the short break. Doing this right now, but let's get it out of the way quick. Cleveland goes into Vegas and takes home a 24-10 win over the Raiders. Now, my main takeaways for this game: one, shout out Shedeur Sanders coming in, playing a very good game, taking shots. It made me happy to see Shedeur not just play, go through the motions, and, hit his check downs, call it a day. No, Shedeur said, I'm taking my shots. He's rolling around the pocket. He's throwing the ball deep. He hit Jerry Jeudy on that beautiful 39-yard pass before Jerry Jeudy got the ball fumbled. He hit Isaiah Bond on that beautiful 52-yard pass to the right side, which should have been a touchdown, but Isaiah Bond fell over. Overall, it made me happy to see a Browns quarterback just want to come in and try something new. He kept trying. He kept trying to throw the ball, kept making his reads well. Calm, collected was his whole saying before the game, and he really did look he looked confident out there. I got to give Shedeur credit. He looked confident. He made that one really bad throw straight to the defense. Now, I will say it was just a bad read. It was not bad execution. So overall, I want to give props to Shedeur for his game. Shout out the Browns for finding a red zone play that really, really efficiently works for them. Quinshon Judkins with the what up? Quinshon Judkins with the wildcat kind of formation. Direct snaps were going to him all day. They kept doing it not just in the red zone, but they were doing it on like 1st and 10, starting the drive with Judkins. They were really trying to get that run game going. He had 16 carries, 47 yards. Shout out Dylan Sampson for coming in for that small stretch. Not only did he have that big touchdown catch, but he also had a couple really powerful runs. Really, really impressed with what I saw from the Browns offense, which is first time in years I've really been able to say anything good about that Browns offense.
Still no respect.
Yeah, and still no respect. As for the Raiders, it's the same problems we're seeing every week. Officially, they did get rid of Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. About damn time. Now, my biggest takeaways for this Raiders offense is, one, they had a lot of plays. They really controlled the time of possession. If you see, Geno Smith, 44 attempts, 285 yards, and a touchdown. Genty had 17 carries for 50 yards. They could not get a run game going. This offensive line, we do know the Browns to be one of the best D-lines, but this Raiders offensive line is so bad, man. Geno finally didn't have any bad turnovers. I think he had a fumble, but that was about it. He had 2 fumbles. He lost the one. That's what I remember. Yeah. Now, funny enough, guys, this dude's Stone Forsythe. Remember the name, right? Stone Forsythe. He is the worst player in football. Out of every player on an NFL roster, Stone Forsythe is actually the worst player, in my opinion, in football. Actually, statistically, over the past 2 years, I think he actually is. He was in one-on-one coverage against the man who Michael Strahan said after the game, it's been fun having the sack record, because Myles Garrett had how many sacks on the day? 3 sacks on the day, which takes him to 18 sacks on the year. So with 6 games to go for Myles Garrett, he needs just 4.5 sacks to break the record for 22.5 sacks in a season. I really, really believe that Myles Garrett will be breaking that sack record and having maybe the greatest defensive season in NFL history this season. Only unfortunate part is he's on a 3-win team because no one wanted to give up a couple first-round picks for him. Man, what a disappointing season. What a disappointing, time to have your greatest season being a part of this Cleveland Browns fan, especially after you got paid. Anyone could have paid him that money, and he'd probably still be having just as much of an impact. But this Browns defense is for real, and now they have a quarterback that they at least believe in. I don't know if Shedeur will be the starting quarterback next week. I saw Stefanski came out and was not willing to officially name a starter for him or Dylan Gabriel next week. I will say, Cleveland scoring 14 points unanswered in the first quarter, winning this game, even having that late game touchdown. I would love to see Shedeur Sanders. I would love to see Shedeur be the starting quarterback again next week, but I wouldn't be surprised if, knowing how the Browns are, they don't do that.
Yo!
Welcome in Ryan O'Toole, everyone, to stream. I'm just going through doing all my recaps of the games. You can throw these wherever. Yeah, throw them wherever. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Wouldn't wish that task on anyone. That's so funny. That's so
What
funny,
pass?
Kane, of Kenny sorting the 20-box mega break.
Oh, yeah?
The card pack came in and took down the New York Knicks in the brand new 10-box autographed basketball plus jersey mixer card pack. I appreciate you big time. I see you also just took down both New York teams. The Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks have been taken out of that break. Now, I will say those are spots, by the way, these $10 spots are to go for the jersey primarily. There are not many players, if any, on the checklist for them. For example, I can confirm the Pacers basically don't have a... Let's get back to talking about these NFL games.
TMC remembers them from when he was back in his heyday.
Right on cue, we are about to talk about the New England Patriots in a 6-point win. They go to 10 wins on the season, 26-20 road win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Drake May started this game struggling. Game could not get going. First quarter was rough. And then in that second quarter, the Patriots went back to what they know. Hunter Henry, 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Didn't really get a lot of the receivers going. Diggs was not really a factor. Mac Hollins not really a factor. But Travion Henderson, 18 carries, even with Ramondre Stevenson coming back. A lot of people didn't know how that backfield was going to work out, but Travion taking majority of the RB1 workload. 18 carries, 66 yards. 6-point win for the Patriots. As for the Bengals, we should be talking about, the injuries that they had to deal with throughout this game. It felt like every other play, another guy was going down. T. Higgins went down with a tough injury at the end there. Hope T. Higgins is all right. Andre Yosivas, the leading receiver for the Bengals, 4 for 61. Chase Brown starting to have a big second half of the year. A lot of people were down on Chase Brown specifically because of where they drafted him in fantasy football, but 19 carries, 107 yards.
Great game last night.
Great game. Now, the biggest takeaway for the Patriots, even in the 6-point win, was we saw a bad injury to their left knee. Multiple bad injuries, but the big one was Will Campbell going down with the injury.
Prayers to Will Campbell this morning, and Jared Wilson as well.
Hope both of them are healthy now that we have you here.
Morgan Moses, for Christ's sakes. Morgan Moses, he ain't no spring chicken over there, you know what I mean? I hope he doesn't have a broken hip. Even at his old age, he's playing good. Yeah, it was kind of I know they won. It was a tough game. I'm happy the way they won this game because this was a rough game. You know what I mean? But good teams win these games. But the biggest thing coming out of it is Campbell and Wilson. You know what I mean? Man, that was rough. It's bad when anytime you see big guys on the line go down, it's bad. You know what I mean? But when they showed Campbell on the cot, I was like, oh, that hurt.
Had the towel over his face, didn't want to show his face.
You talk about one of the best rookies this year. He's
up there.
He's definitely been one of the best. And
definitely up there, yep.
And again, Wilson, you know what I mean? Jared Wilson, who plays right next to him, has been phenomenal this year as well. So that's tough. I'm just hoping, let's hope it's, 4 games. Let's hope it's IR. Let's hope he's back for, this team looks like they're going to be playing in January. So let's hope he's back then. But man, that was rough. And then even you saw it before the game. You saw it was noticeable there was no Milton Williams. It's like that was definitely the most anyone's run on the Patriots all year, Chase Brown. There's no way anyone's had 100. I don't think anyone's had 60 yards on the Patriots this year. Yeah. They've been shutting teams down. But they stepped up. They made plays. May got over it looked like it was just going to be one of those days, which happens. That happens to the great.
I think they were down 10-0, was it?
Yeah.
Down 10-0 after
pick six.
I was going to say the pick 6 was bad.
Yeah.
Bad throw, and then after that, Drake May came right back, and it was so funny. I remember texting I was with my roommate, and I was telling him after he threw that pick 6, I was like, man, we're about to see a really great Drake May come back after this, and it felt like I think it was 18 minutes after the pick 6 was thrown, they already had the lead again or something. And I was like,
got the big pick 6 from Marcus Jones.
True.
Where Flacco threw one
terrible throw.
Yeah, but
terrible throw to the
he wasn't
flat.
looking him off, and it's like Marcus Jones. The Patriots just gave him that contract, and he's been worth every cent. You know what I mean? It's but that was huge. But they needed a play like that yesterday. Look, they won by 6 points. And McPherson, good lord, the kick McPherson made. Did you see it right before half?
The 63-yarder was it? And that was probably good for 70. That could have been good from 70.
He might be my leader. One of these guys is going to hit a 70-yarder. I think before this. Well, it'll be tough. Well, if it's indoors, a lot of these teams play in domes. He's my leader that might make the first 70-yard kick. I think
probably him or Cam Little, right? The Jaguars guy that keeps kicking all these long ones.
I think Borregales for the Patriots, if he could straighten it out. Borregales has been unbelievable for the Patriots. He missed 2 extra points the game against Miami week 2, and everyone was nervous because they drafted him. Patriots drafted Borregales, their kicker, Barringer, their punter, and their holder. They drafted that whole battery right there, which That almost never happens.
True.
Where all three of those guys are drafted. That almost never happens.
But yeah, good win for the Patriots.
And School got hurt yesterday too. There was a lot of guys that left banged up. It was a rough. I didn't even feel like happy after the game. You know what I mean? It's nice. I try to remind myself. I'm like, all right, they're 10 wins. Team needs a bye. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Week 14. We shouldn't have teams getting bye weeks in week 14 here. This is way too late. Patriots aren't gonna have a bye till week 14. They should just get all the buys over with in like a 3-week span in the middle of the season is what they should do. That's what they should do. Just get all the bye weeks over with in you know what? God forbid there's only 8 games on a Sunday. You know what I mean? It's like, get it all. Week 14, for Christ's sakes, a week after Thanksgiving, the Patriots have their bye week. It's outrageous. They're getting their bye week in December?
Hey, but big win. Puts them at 10-2. 10-2, and that's all you could ask for. Moving on to
Giants on a Monday night game next week. So
nice. Speaking of the Giants, in a tough overtime loss, but probably the most entertaining game of the week was Detroit Lions at home against the Giants, 34-27 win, which was capitalized with a big Jahmyr Gibbs 69, I believe, yard rushing touchdown, which capitalized, or maybe it was a 55-yarder. But yeah, play of the year, Kane is saying, was that game-clinching run in overtime. Now, a lot of stuff to talk about. Shout out Jameis Winston, not only for throwing those 2 touchdowns, but, Kane, you're talking about that play, for Gunnar Olszewski for throwing that touchdown to Jameis Winston, who then stiff-armed his defender, ran into the end zone, hit the Heisman celebration. Shout out Jameis.
Well, Olszewski, I think, was a quarterback in college.
He was. I did see that. A former Pittsburgh Steeler himself, actually, so I do know
He came
Gunnar.
up with the Patriots.
He did. But tough loss for the Giants. I really thought they were going to have it. They were leading majority of this game really until that fourth quarter. Wan'Dale Robinson, huge game. He had a crazy first half. I believe he had over 100 yards in just the first half. 9 catches, 156 yards, and that touchdown was beautiful. Isaiah Hodgins had that really nice touchdown. Obviously, Jameis Winston caught that 33-yard touchdown. I was really impressed with the Giants' run game all day, too. Their offensive, or really the Lions' defensive line has been iffy.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, they try and dominate up front, and you can really see it, but really, this Giants' offense was all running. They ran the ball so much, especially for a Jameis Winston-led offense. 20 carries for Tracy, 14 for Singletary. It felt like those 3rd and 1 short plays, Giants were converting on majority of them. Theo Johnson had a really nice game. He keeps having good games for the tight end spot. He is their tight end of the future, in my opinion, over there in New York. As for the Lions, Dan Campbell took over play calling. It's been a little up and down since he has, but you got to see a true Dan Campbell masterclass in calls. Really just giving his 2 guys the ball all the time and just saying, if we're going to lose with Amon-Ra and Gibbs, we're going to lose with giving the ball to our best 2 guys. But Gibbs had 26 touches on the day between 15 carries and 11 catches. Crazy to see a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs have 12 targets on the day. They really love his receiving game out of the backfield. But the main stuff you got to talk about is just Jahmyr Gibbs' explosiveness in the offensive run game. Jared Goff's poise after throwing a couple interceptions. I thought he bounced back very well with a couple really clutch throws to Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra had the one interception that Goff threw wasn't even really his fault. Went right through Amon-Ra's hands, which could have gotten his 10 catches for over 150 yards for Amon-Ra, but he finished with 9 for 149 and a touchdown. But yeah, really this game was secured in the overtime. Big 50-yard touchdown rush for Gibbs that secured the win for Detroit.
Yep. Giants 10.5-point underdogs. I'm so mad I had every other big underdog yesterday. I didn't have the Giants. And Shane Bowen was just canned about an hour and a half.
Yes, he was. Defensive coordinator officially fired.
So it seems to be a trend here with New York businesses firing people right around this time of year, wants to give them the holiday bonus. I love these cowards at the Giants, too, by the way. They fire this guy, and they come, it was the first move Mike Kafka made. Is Mike Kafka seriously auditioning for this front off? This is unbelievable, this team. This Joe Sheen guy, how this guy keeps his job. They're going to weasel it out saying, I didn't do it. The interim head coach, who's been the coach there for 2 weeks, decided to do it. Now, I don't know if he actually has a real chance of getting his job, but give me a break. Give me a break right there. And don't get me wrong, the guy has not been by no means. I understand, clean house. You know what I mean? I get it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, to say it was like, oh, Mike Kafka's first move. This guy Joe Sheen has no spine whatsoever, and that's why his team lacks total discipline. It's exactly why you have Abdul Qadir sleeping through meetings and then going to Monday Night Raw to play wrestling. Okay, same with Scadaboo.
To not have a good game, honestly. This D line has been.
This guy was drafted 3rd overall, and he hasn't had a good season.
And, you'd think that this Giants D-line would finally be a little bit better in the run game with fully healthy this week. Dexter Lawrence had a good game. Abdul Carter, we mentioned. Brian Burns. They got the big names to keep that front, keep run games under control, and yet teams just run all over the Giants every time they play.
All day.
I will say, if you are a Giants fan, at this point in the season, I feel like this is exactly what you wanted to ask for, right? An entertaining game that you enjoy watching, you get some fun moments out of, but at the end of the day, closer to the 1st overall draft pick. They are now 0-7 on the road. They have not won a road game. Now, mind you, I think they've been leading in every single road game that they've played, and now they are 0-7 at the end of the games.
How many entertaining games do the Giants have this year? I feel like every time you watch them, I'm like, you're in for stuff
and
like
it feels
this.
like how, even week 2, we forget that Russell Wilson dropped 37 points.
Good yourself?
How you doing, Frank? Good to see you. Russell Wilson dropped 37 points in week 2, and yet we're now after Jackson Dart's little tent, Cam Scadabo, Jameis Winston. How many iterations are we going to see of this Giants team? And yet every single one tells everyone brings an entertaining game, and every single one has found ways to lose specifically.
What are they, 2-10?
2-10 for the Giants. Lions 7-4, which brings them right behind the right behind the Chicago Bears, sitting at 8-3 atop the NFC North. But Lions looking to, really competing with they're 3rd in the division right now behind Chicago and the Green Bay Packers, who are now about to talk about. The Green Bay Packers defeating the Minnesota Vikings in probably the most boring game of the day, 23-6 win for the Packers at home over the Vikings. My biggest takeaways from this game: 1, J.J. McCarthy, bad.
7 games. Just remember,
7 games in and 7 games of bad quarterback play.
That's true. That's true. But you could also make the contrary. Green Bay's defense, good.
True. I will agree with that.
Green Bay's defense, good.
I will agree. Green Bay's
6
defense
points.
looks
I don't
very,
care
very
if you're
good.
playing the 2008 Lions. That's what you're supposed to do against division teams in a very well coached. Say what you want. Minnesota, that team is loaded in Minnesota. It's just the quarterback. It is absolutely the quarterback.
Absolutely
You're right.
is.
It's bad play, but that team's stacked and they're really well coached. But good lord, what a defensive performance by Green Bay.
It frustrated me to see them really trying to abandon the run game too. Pretty early on, it felt like in that early second quarter, they were trying to let JJ on 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs really get them going. I would have liked to see them continue with the run game. I thought Mason and Aaron Jones were having solid performances. Not great, but solid enough performances to keep them driving down the field. And then they kept trying to give JJ these confident, 3rd and long plays. Jefferson was not having it, man. He 4 for 48. It's funny to think that Jefferson had over 50% of his quarterback's yards, and yet he only finished with 48 yards on the day. It's sad for me to think that they trade a 4th-round pick for Adam Thielen for him to get no catches, 1 target. Jordan Addison is one of the brightest young receivers, in my opinion, in the league. Obviously, he's had his off-field issues, but Addison, when he's on the field, has been great over the past couple of years, especially as the number 2 guy next to Jefferson. No catches, only 1 target on the day. Hawkinson got a little bit involved, only 19 yards of production. But man, overall, this was a game just dominated on the run and a very game-controlled game by Green Bay. Very impressive to see no Josh Jacobs. They give the full workload to Emmanuel Wilson, rookie, or I think 2nd or 3rd year running back that they did draft. But 28 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. They dominated the Minnesota front 7 in the run game, specifically in the red zone. I thought they did a great job running in the red zone. Emmanuel Wilson not really getting, a lot of reps, but being the RB2 behind Josh Jacobs throughout the year. And yet Wilson comes in 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love doesn't have to make any crazy throws. I know he had a couple nice ones, but no throws over 20 yards for Jordan Love is an interesting stat because normally he's got at least 4 a game. But really easy win for the Packers over the Vikings. I will continue to say it. JJ's throwing motion looks really, really bad. It looks inaccurate. It looks slow. It looks clunky. He keeps taking sacks on really bad plays. I I'm really not impressed with this Vikings offense, and to think that this is the same offense that last year had Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones sitting in the locker room. They got rid of both of those guys for 12 of 19, 87 yards, and 2 interceptions in a must-win division game.
They drafted this guy, what?
10th overall.
Yeah. Another thing
before Bo Nix, 2 picks before Bo Nix. Sure. People remember.
Sure. Another thing too, you can make. It started to show yesterday. It showed with Indianapolis. We'll talk about them in Minnesota. It's starting to get cold out. It's not 74 degrees, and we're not in a dome anymore. It's starting to get windy. And these indoor teams, this is when you're going to start to show this right at this time of year. You got to go to Wisconsin. It's not going to be lit up like whatever your stadium is, all the dome and all that stuff. You're at Lambeau Field now, and it's only getting colder.
Yep. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks taking down the Tennessee Titans. Now, I will say the score looks a little closer than this game really was.
14.5 underdogs. I love Tennessee this week.
Yep.
Love
At
Tennessee.
home, too. I want to give a lot of props first and foremost to Sam Darnold after coming back from a bad performance against the Rams. He came out and was slinging the rock. He immediately threw that 63-yard bomb. Beautiful throw and catch touchdown to JSN. JSN, now 11 games into this season, has the all-time single-season receiving yard record for the Seattle Seahawks. He just broke DK Metcalf's record. He is over 1,300 yards in 11 games played, on pace to be the only receiver with 2,000 yards in a single season. We got to see, obviously, if he gets there, a long season to go. Yep. But JSN with another incredible showing, 8 catches, 170 yards basically, and 2 touchdowns. My biggest impress, I was happy with how the Seahawks offense just played in general. I thought they did well on the run, thought they did well in the pass, kept converting on third downs all day long, but I got to give a lot of credit to the former number 1 overall pick who has really struggled this year, but Cam Ward in the second half of this game was making beautiful throws on the run, initiated a comeback that Tennessee really in most days would never have. With a run game really struggling, Tony Pollard averaging under 2 yards a run, Tajay Spears averaging under 2 yards a run. I was so impressed with some of the stuff I was seeing from Cam Ward. Shout out to Chimere Dike, their rookie receiver.
He's good.
He is good. Not only did he have the receiving touchdown, but he also had a kickoff or punt return touchdown.
Yeah, he can run.
Number 17, very
He's
solid.
He's a rookie too.
Yeah, solid game. They have him as a rookie, Alec Omenor as a rookie. Now they brought in Xavier Restrepo, who is their, the U-Miami connection with Cam Ward, who came in as a rookie. Tennessee's future is looking very bright, and I will say when you are rebuilding, if you're 1-10, 0-6 at home, the one thing you want is your quarterback to just show flashes of excitement. And Cam Ward, 28 of 42, no turnovers on the day, no fumbles, no interceptions, 256 yards and a touchdown. He made that one throw where he rolled out right, I believe on a 3rd and long, and launched it across the field back over, and it was a dot. Cam Ward can really sling the rock, similar to how I used to talk about like Caleb Williams getting the ball from point A to point B just on a straight line very fast. I see a lot of the similar tendencies from Cam Ward. But yeah, 6-point loss for Tennessee. Honestly, if you're Tennessee, you kind of want to lose this game. This keeps them with the number 1 overall pick with just 1 win. And Seattle goes on the road and bounces back after a tough loss against the Rams. 30-point showing in Tennessee for Seattle.
Well, the biggest thing when you go look at both these teams, Cam Wood, you saw it, showed some plays and all that stuff. Their biggest thing is they got to land the head coaching thing, everything this offseason. You know what I mean? If ownership can stay out of their own way, hire the right guy, then you might actually have something here. Because there are good young players on tennis. You see there's actually talent there. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the team stinks overall.
Yes.
Like, there's no doubt about it. There's not really a strong unit on there. I mean, even special teams, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? But this is just all about them getting the, more so than getting the number 1 pick or anything like that. It's about getting the coaching thing right in the offseason. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I will say, I really hope that Tennessee does not go into this draft thinking that they should go skill player first. I'd be very surprised if they went with, say, a Jeremiah Love or a big
who's
time.
Who's going to be making that pick? That's the thing.
That is a big thing.
You have no idea who's going to be making that pick.
So I do really hope that they prioritize their offensive line, because all I keep seeing is this run game just gets worse and worse every single week, and Cam Ward gets no help in the run game. Especially in a game like this where they tried to run the ball. You can see 22 times they ran the ball, including 6 with Cam Ward, so technically 16 designed rushes. I don't know if any of them went for more than 5 yards. That is sad to think about. Yeah, you tried running 14 or 16 times, not one went over 5 yards. Got to get a couple explosive runs into this offense. to just make the game easier for Cam Ward, but Tennessee Titans 6-point loss. Not much more else to say about that game.
The Tennessee Seattle game. Go to the time of possession. Yeah, go to. There you go.
Team stats, time possession was big time for Tennessee.
They had the ball. They had the ball 15 more minutes than
Seattle did.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot right there for a team that really can't run the ball or move the ball like that. To have the ball for almost a quarter more than them, that's
it's impressive.
Yeah, and it shows you about Seattle can score when it counts. You know what I mean?
Yep. In an overtime 3-point victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, Kane, that you have to see this, but Kansas City Chiefs took down the best team in the AFC. Well, not anymore now that the Patriots 10 wins and the Colts at 8.
Dome team, it's starting to get cold out.
Exactly.
We're
Kansas
not playing
City
in
Chiefs.
72 degrees no more. This is Arrowhead Stadium.
Hey.
It's going to be December next week.
Biggest takeaways from this game, first and foremost, that
58
Chiefs.
and sunny's 15 degrees cooler than it is in a dome, Kane, and it's only getting colder. And, hey, don't say we haven't seen this before. Indianapolis starting off hot, and then it starts to get a little chilly outside.
I want to give a big props and big shout out first and foremost to the Kansas City Chiefs run defense. Jonathan Taylor, other than that one big run he ran off for 27 yards, had no rushing ability in this game. Shout out Chris Jones, George Karlaftis.
That was vintage Chris Jones.
Yeah, it was vintage Chris Jones. The run game was huge. Run game stopping was huge. And then on the other side, I've been talking about the Kansas City Chiefs as the team that can't run the ball at all, but yet when you have the ball for 42 and a half minutes of the game, I was going to say that had to be a lot. Kareem Hunt, 30 rushing attempts on the day, 104 yards and a touchdown. They kept bullying that Colts defensive front on the line. Not a lot of crazy big plays for the Colts. You know, they had a couple, Alec Pierce had a couple nice catches. That Doolin nice play was big, but Chiefs really controlled a lot of this game. Yeah, Chiefs had 91 plays on offense. Colts ended the game with 4 straight 3-and-outs. Yep. Both of those are true.
Absolutely.
Kane, but Rashee Rice with a couple of huge plays on when the game really mattered, not just in overtime, but also in that fourth quarter. 8 catches, 141 yards. Xavier Worthy setting up the big field goal to even send this game into overtime with that really big catch that he made. Nice little vertical kind of post route.
He couldn't get that stop there. That was third down, too.
Exactly, that was third down. Indy needed that stop to ice the game.
Indy should have won this game. The Colts should have won this game.
I completely agree, but man, Kansas City battled. They kept the time of possession. Kelsey had a couple of nice catches.
Yeah,
Brashard Smith.
They needed it more, too.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
and
big
it was a
big
super
win.
Super well-coached game by the defense. That's Spagnuolo right there. When you absolutely need a win, it's like just go back to what you do. Rushing up the middle. That's what Kansas City does. Clog that line of scrimmage. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, that has to have been the quietest I've heard him all year.
Yeah, between this and the Steelers game, honestly, where I know he's held to under 50 yards too.
Oh, I know. I know, Kane.
Thanks,
I know.
But
But that impressed me because, I mean, Indy's offensive line, for Kansas City to do that, people need to, I think people are kind of getting down on Kansas City. So Kansas City has Dallas on Thursday, right?
I believe you are correct.
They have Dallas Thursday, and then Houston. Oh man, and then the Chargers. Oh, beautiful. And then then they have the Titans, and they got Denver.
Broncos on Christmas Day. It's gonna be a great game to watch. But yeah, big win for the Chiefs. Mahomes didn't throw any touchdowns this game, but really, I thought he did a great job controlling the game.
What day is Christmas on this year?
I don't.
What day of the week is Christmas? We got. I mean, good lord. If it's on a Thursday, then I'll hear it out. But
it's a Thursday.
Okay, all right, fine.
There you go. But yeah, big win for the Chiefs. Yep, it was Chiefs magic again. I would agree in that overtime. Just a lot of stuff didn't go the Colts' way in this game. You know, the run game not being there, not being able to really stop the Chiefs' run game at all.
The fact there wasn't a roof on the stadium.
I will say the Chiefs. I will say a big thing. Kane is that was on Shane Steichen. He outsmarts himself in these games. I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, but you're going against 2 Hall of Fame coaches on the other side, though, too.
It really, really is upsetting, though, to think that you traded those 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner for him to try and be that immediate fix to the secondary. And secondary has almost looked worse. I hate to say it, but I don't think Sauce has been that great since being brought in by Indy.
They got to figure it out. He's going into a totally.
I watched a lot of recap. I thought, He had a couple good plays.
So Kansas City 23 at home. I think that they probably had a good day.
But my biggest thing, Kane, it's not, I agree that it was over the middle, but you could see the linebackers had to stop the run all game. It was really good coaching by the Chiefs to make them try and, bite on the run. But man, Rashee Rice, 141 yards, Xavier Worthy, 59 yards. You can't have those two combined for 200 yards. You're probably going to lose the game. And that's not even talking about Kelsey having a couple nice catches. But yeah.
Look at Indy's upcoming schedule.
Colts' upcoming schedule looks like Texans next week, then Jaguars, Seahawks, Niners, Jaguars, Texans. So
beautiful.
Tough.
Let's go Houston.
Tough.
At Seattle. Hey, Kane. The Colts are playing at Seattle on December 14th. My guess is it's not going to be dry and it's not going to be warm. Let's see. We're going to learn about this team this next couple of weeks. We're going to see how tough they are.
Even with the quarterback change in New York, the Baltimore Ravens take down a 23-10 win over the New York Jets.
And hold on, real quick, before we move on, before we get past this Kansas City game, Kane, I know. Just remember, Daniel Jones is the quarterback of this Colts team. Daniel Jones. Because I understand, get a new fresh breath of air, go to a new place, all that stuff. Let's just remember, this is Daniel Jones. This isn't Steve Young.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. What is it? Daniel Jones with a broken face or whatever?
No, not anymore. What did he change it to?
Yeah, I mean, did you see Andrew Luck? Did you see him pick up the? He was getting interviewed against the Stanford game. He picked up the football.
If you're starting a franchise, you're picking Shador and J.J. McCarthy.
How do you know? You have no idea.
Shador Sanders.
Oh, what did he show yesterday? We already talked about that game. That terrible Las Vegas Cleveland
I
game.
talked about it before you got in. If you want to.
Miles Garrett. That's Miles
all I
Garrett.
said too. Yep.
Good Lord. That's all you need to know about that. Other than that game should be the Shador Sanders versus Geno Smith game. Raiders. We should take all existing game film of that, put it in a giant trash barrel, light it on fire, and let's just hope it's never seen ever again.
Yep. Ravens.
Other than the Miles Garrett parts.
14-point third quarter. I was very impressed with their red zone play calling. Finally giving Derrick Henry good red zone touches and getting him into the end zone was huge for this Ravens team.
Come over here, Eli. We can talk about it.
Jets had a tough game. I want to give a big shout out to the Jets receiver, though, John Mechie, who they obtained from the Eagles, I believe, came over in trade. 6 for 65, had a nice game catching. But Tyrod Taylor.
John Meachie the third.
Tyrod Taylor.
He got one more win. he got one more win than the Jets as a team. He got 3. John Meachie got 3.
Oh man, how you feeling as a Jets fan, Eli?
I feel actually great because everybody wrote off Mitchell, and he keeps getting open, and he was open a lot.
Still can't catch the ball though.
Did he drop anything?
Not really. He caught like a couple.
2 catches on 7 targets.
Yeah. As long as they were they the open ones the way they were against the Patriots last week? Was it better?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, good win for the Ravens here.
Now they're tied for the division.
They are now
right?
officially leading the AFC North.
I didn't see this coming. I'm not gonna lie.
This is when you fire Mike Tomlin.
I didn't see where this is coming.
Yeah. Honestly, not much to say about this game.
The defense is starting to play with them. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but Kyle Hamilton went down with an injury, so you hope that he comes back, because I did see that injury. If he's out now too, it's like, man, where are they going to find production?
That's right. They play Thursday night against Burrow. Well, potentially Joe Burrow. That's right, a short week, which they got to travel for, I think, too. I think that game's in Cincinnati.
I think that game is in Cincinnati. No, it's in Baltimore. So
okay.
Good for them. They get to stay at home. But yeah, big stretch coming up for Baltimore. I will say this is, classic AFC North ball, where it's all going to come down to the Steelers and the Ravens playing each other twice to see who gets the division. I talked about the Steelers earlier. Now the Ravens take over the division. You kind of expect this. But Lamar, game-controlled game. He made a couple of really bad throws in that first half. You'd like to see Lamar get going a little bit quicker in a game, but overall, good win for the Ravens.
What did he practice? Twice last week? You know what I mean?
Small like
so
that.
you get the win. And you get out of there. That's the biggest thing for the Ravens, And Derrick Henry's starting to get going. They're starting to get the run game going,
Yep.
Which they have to, because you see Jackson can't move yet the way you're accustomed to seeing.
Another overtime game ended in a 3-point win for the Jaguars against the Cardinals.
0.
I watched a lot of this game, I can't lie. I did make the decision. I don't know if Eric the actor is still here. I was choosing in my fantasy league, who am I going to start between Tet McMillan tonight or Michael Wilson for the Cardinals. I decided to go with Michael Wilson. 10 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown to right bounce back from his 185-yard game, I believe. So shout out Michael Wilson for being huge for me in fantasy. I want to say it though, when I saw the Arizona Cardinals at home against a team like Jacksonville, you can just tell that their game plan's not going to be that different from what it was against San Francisco the week before. Jacoby Brissett threw 49 passes. So coming off a game where he had 47 completions, he now throws 49 passes in this game. The run game was terrible for Arizona all day. I know that Bam Knight got into the end zone, but the run game, Michael Carter was bad, Bam Knight was bad. They couldn't get a run game going at all against Jacksonville. Controlled majority of the time of possession. Felt like Jacksonville was going to lose this game a couple of times. Shout out to Parker Washington for that great touchdown. Jacoby Myers finally getting his feet wet in this new Jacksonville offense. Had a really nice touchdown. ETN had that early touchdown, first touchdown of the game. Budda Baker had a beautiful interception in this game.
Awesome.
He had a bad play on the touchdown throw. I think it was Jacoby Myers or it was either one of the Jacoby Myers or the Parker Washington one that he got torched on that touchdown, but he came right back and had a great cutoff interception on Trevor Lawrence.
Budda Baker's the man.
I know Jacksonville won this game, overtime win. They got the game-winning field goal. But man, Trevor Lawrence, you are going to be on a new team very soon if you don't stop throwing these interceptions. 3 interceptions in this game against Arizona. I do really love Jonathan Gannon.
He's going to be on a new team. He got a hefty contract. Jacksonville gave him the bag.
I love Jonathan Gannon's defensive schemes. I think he's a really good coach, and I hope that they don't can him because this has been a couple of years now in a row with bad bad rosters in general. I think he's a really good coach.
You pay Kyler Murray after he's playing video games, you reap what you sow.
Exactly. But overall...
Who's this?
Hockey Collector.
Do we know this guy?
It's Ranger. It's baked.
Oh, what's going on, Hockey Collector? What's going on?
Yes.
Happy Monday.
Good win for Jacksonville on the road. It was one of those games that, it looks like a good score, it looks like a good game. If you were watching it, it was kind of just mid all day long. Trey McBride, good game, 7 for 97 for your fantasy managers. Brenton Strange, 5 for 93, big game there. But overall, 3-point overtime win for the Jaguars.
Man.
Hey, in the game that we both predicted, shout out Brock for Philly losing.
Well, I'm not going to cheer for. I don't want to cheer for nothing for Dallas. I don't like
21. This game was 21-0 early on. Jalen Hurts got going in the run game. He threw that great pass to AJ Brown. And then, man, Dallas came all the way back slowly. And that end of the half drive was a huge drive to get them to go 21-7 at the half. Came right out, scored that touchdown, and then, man, I will keep saying the best wide receiver duo in football plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I know CeeDee Lamb had a couple really bad drops.
He got to get that figured out because they got to get that figured out because that's like a mental thing or whatever. This game, that whole fourth quarter, they could have been breathing easy. They put a lot more stress on themselves than they did because of his drops for the second time against the Eagles.
True,
this year.
Second time. But, man, George Pickens continues to show why the Steelers are going to regret trading him in the long term. But I don't think
he's a lunatic.
I don't think that Pickens will be doing this in Pittsburgh. And, man, is he having a legendary series for himself, or a year for himself,
He's doing it with the contract coming up, too. So he's doing it at the best time possible.
9 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. He had a couple crazy catches, man, that I was just like, it's vintage George Pickens that we've seen from the past couple of years. Love to see.
Vintage because he's not even that old, for Christ's sake.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like if this guy's head's on right and he's steering clear and stuff, he's as good as any wide receiver, I think. I really do. It's just with him, he's nuts. You know what I mean? He's crazy.
I love to see them continue to use Javonte Williams in the backfield, though. I really am impressed. I know he's not getting in the end zone like he was to start the year, but that's because Dak's starting to find his receivers in the end zone. Javonte, 20 rushes, 87 yards. Eagles could not get a run game going at all in this game. Saquon Barkley, 10 rushes for 22 yards against technically.
When they were up 21-0 too, when you should be
statistically the worst rushing defense in football. Now, obviously, they did make those big trades to bring in Quinton Williams, who's been a monster for them. Kenny Clark's been much better in the second half now that he's got some help there.
And they got
Demarion Overshone has been huge.
I forgot he even existed, dude. I completely forgot he
has been huge for this team. I was so impressed with what I've seen.
Last year. He was. I remember last season, like before he got hurt, I was like, this guy's everywhere. That's huge to get him back. I didn't even remember that he was on the team.
I also want to give credit to the Slim Reaper. Devontae Smith made a couple catches in this game. I was like, man, great. He had that one that he did the flip after. I can't believe he held on to that. Timbo, how you doing?
Great weekend.
Yeah, good weekend.
Yeah.
But Saquon, 7 catches for 52 yards. They tried to really throw him the ball as opposed to just trying to dominate the run. But yeah, you said it. When they're up 21-0, you'd think that a team like the Philadelphia Eagles could just run the ball down the throat, keep the time of possession on their side, and win the game. But man, could not run the ball at all, only 3.5 yards per carry. And if you exclude that Tank Bigsby 8-yard run that they had, between Saquon and Hurts, 17 carries, 55 yards is really inexcusable. It's funny, we've gone through every iteration of this Eagles offense now, where their run game, in the beginning is good, then it's now the passing game struggling, then they go to the passing game works. Now they're struggling again. It's like now the defense is struggling to keep games. They can't run the ball.
Well, yeah, you can't
every
run.
time.
Your defense, again, let's go to time of possession on this game. It's like, again, they're up 21-0. Obviously, they're scoring quick. It's like, yeah, they got that right there. That's actually, it's pretty even. But it shouldn't be when you're up 21-0. They can't run the ball. There's too much drama around them. I still think they're a great team, but there's too much drama. This team's way too good. You think this team, the drama this team has, you think they'd be 3-8, not 8-3 for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean?
Bad loss, though, for them. 10 points unanswered for the Cowboys, or really 17 points unanswered for the Cowboys to get them the win. Shout out Brandon Aubrey for hitting the game-winning kick. CD's got to stop dropping the ball, but the Cowboys go to 5-1, which brings them to the first time all season they've been officially.
It was 21 unanswered, wasn't it? Or 24. It was 21.
I think it was 20. Yeah, just 24 unanswered. I was saying 17 in the second half specifically, but yes.
Yeah, second half they were absent.
Yeah, absent in the second half.
But they got those huge, the completions from Pickens. That was the other thing. All those catches from Pickens were like 38 yards downfield. Every time Pickens caught the ball, it was deep down in Dallas territory, Philadelphia territory. Every single time.
Kirk Cousins has his best game that we've seen from him in a year. I know he threw the one interception, but a beautiful touchdown pass to Darnell Mooney on that 49-yard touchdown. And the Atlanta Falcons take down the Saints in a 24-10 on the road win.
I saw none of this.
I didn't see a lot of it. I watched a lot of the Bijan Robinson touches. Now, I will say Bijan had like 10 carries to 1, I think, on Tyler Algier to start the game. And then once they started winning this game, they started just feeding Tyler Algier. Falcons almost did exactly what we thought the Eagles should have done against the Cowboys, where they got a good lead. They were up 16-7 at the first half. And in that third quarter, they completely ran the clock out. They just kept running and running and running. I know it says the Saints had more time possession. That's because Tyler Show kept converting weird third downs, and they did run over 70 offensive plays overall for the Saints, and no offensive touchdowns. That was the biggest thing. They kept stopping them in the red zone. I don't have too much to say about this game. Good job for the Falcons winning the game. Tyler Show, they compared him to Ben Roethlisberger on the broadcast yesterday. That made me mad. I was like, man, what are we doing?
Man, if they comparing this guy to Ben Roethlisberger, get Mark Sanchez out of jail and give him his job back. That's outrageous.
Now, funny enough, I do have one Saints fan that's in my life, and the Saints fan watched that Giants game yesterday, and all he said was, man, I wish instead of going through Rattler and Tyler Show, they just did a full year of Jameis Winston, and I don't blame him, man. I would feel the same way if I was a Saints fan. I understand Tyler Show is probably going to get him.
They're playing for next year.
Yeah, they're playing for the draft pick. They are playing for the draft pick. And the last game I want to talk about before we do, I see the card pack you got an offer. We're going to run through this last game, and then I will get you with your offer.
Snooze fest. The Rams are the best team, and the Mayfield being banged up, now it's legitimate concern.
Yeah. Rams, though, Stafford, 25 of 35, 275, and 3 touchdowns. Devontae Adams. Not only did Devontae Adams have the goal line touchdown, but he had a beautiful 24-yard post corner touchdown. Devontae and Stafford connection looks great. Puka Nacua, 7 catches, 97 yards. He had that big 31-yard catch. But the biggest takeaway has nothing really to do with the Rams. Baker Mayfield's shoulder injury after throwing those 2 interceptions. Yeah! Baker threw the big Hail Mary to end the half, which really ripped apart his other shoulder. It looks like he was out for the game after that. And Teddy Bridgewater, was he a high school, I think, football coach, came off the bench or came off the couch to become the backup? If Baker misses any time, Bucks are
Defense.
rough. Bucks are rough. You got any
Rams
observations?
Yeah, the Rams are so legit, dude. The Rams are a team that play indoors and play in good weather. I think they could play anywhere. They're tough on defense, dude. They are tough.
Between guys like Cam Curl, Kobe Turner had a great game. Jared Verse with the 2 sacks.
Yeah, they're all amazing, and they're so well coached. You know what I mean? McVay's an awesome
McVay
coach.
is awesome. Yeah, they really find the best ways to utilize their players. I will say, as a Kyron Williams fantasy owner, seeing him only get 12 for 46, no touchdowns, it's funny to see that Kyron Williams, goal line, he used to be like the guaranteed goal line touchdown guy, but now when you have Devontae Adams, I think that makes 8 touchdowns within 4 yards this year for Devontae Adams.
And Stafford is hitting everything. Stafford, I mean, this guy...
MVP.
MVP. Yeah, now you can start talking about it. He's probably in the league now. We were talking about it the other day, right? We were saying, because I said it to you Friday, you said the other day, once Stafford won that Super Bowl, he was a Hall of Famer, right? I brought that up to my buddy the other day. I go, when do you think Matthew Stafford became a Hall of Famer? He said the same thing, but do you remember the year after they won the Super Bowl? They were like, they had Mayfield on the team. Remember, they were like 4-12 or 4-13, whatever it was. They were awful. And for him to come back after dealing with injuries, again, he had the back issue all
offseason. We were worried about if he was going to play all year.
Offseason, it was in training camp, for Christ's sakes. And for this guy to come back like this.
We were talking like, we saw Stetson Bennett in preseason. We were like, we might have to see more of this season.
You were like legitimate. I mean, again, he's what, 39 years old or something?
38, I think, turning 39.
Kershaw, you know what I mean?
2,830 yards, 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
It's like, that's why in the goal line, the way he's linked up with Adams, right? I mean, what year is it right now where Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams are sunk up the way they are? He's automatic in the red zone right now. I mean, he looks just as good as he did in 2017, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? It's like, this is I'm very impressed with the Rams. What's their upcoming schedule looking like, the Rams? Because I think they have some tough games coming up.
Yeah, Rams, if I look at their schedule coming up, they have the Carolina Panthers the following week in Carolina, then Arizona, so a couple good wins hopefully for
maybe. That Carolina
Rams.
Game might not be easy, though.
Then they got Detroit, Seattle in a back-to-back. That's within 4-game stretch, or 4-day stretch. Detroit on December 14th, Seattle on December 18th. Then they go to Atlanta and then Arizona to end the year.
Yeah.
But man, Stafford might really end the year with less than 5 interceptions thrown. He might end with less than 3 interceptions
Long way
thrown.
to go. Long way to go.
But very, very impressed with what we saw from Stafford last night. But man, I really want to say Tampa Bay's got a big game, I believe, coming up coming up soon. That Panthers game. Panthers-Falcons. We might be talking about the Falcons. If they could go on a little hot streak, I know they got the Jets next week.
Oh, get them out of here. Get
Falcons,
them, please.
We could be talking about,
Get them out of here. Carolina, keep an eye on. I can't wait for that game tonight.
Yeah, tonight, that might be a big win for, if Carolina can pull out a game on the road against San Fran, they take over the division enticingly over Tampa Bay. But worst division in football right now, still led by the Bucs, but if Baker's going to miss any time with that shoulder injury, be on the lookout for the Bucs to possibly lose that division to either Carolina or Atlanta. And that's going to do it for our Week 12 Sunday football recap.